How did your parents make a living though? Was it just...
Dad, well, we farmed there at Grove, eh?
Oh yeah.
We had a farm. So we had our own implements and one thing like that. Like we had our own tractors and separator, and we had pretty well all the equipment that anybody would want for the farm.
Oh yeah, and your mom grow a garden and stuff?
Oh yeah, we had garden. We always had a bunch of potatoes and stuff, and we grew wheat, like, and then traded in St. Albert for flour, eh?
Oh yeah.
And we had a bunch of cattle, and we had horses as well. Most of the time, you know, the time when people done any farming, like what they had to do, use their horses, eh?
Oh yeah, yeah. What about church?
Well, I am
When you were growing up, did you have to go to church too?
Oh yeah, I'm still a Roman Catholic.
Yeah, but your parents?
Oh yeah, they were Catholics.
Oh yeah. And you went to church in St. Albert?
No, I went to school and I went to church catechism in Spruce Grove. There was a little Catholic church there at Spruce Grove, just about 1 mile east of Spruce Grove.
Oh yeah, is it still standing or?
No, it burnt down.
Oh yeah.
It was in between the railroad and the highway. Eh?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't too much space in between there, but there was enough, like, you know.
Yeah. What about the language? What did your mom and dad speak?
My mother mainly spoke the Cree language.
Oh yeah.
Where my dad was well posted because he went to school way up in on the other side of Calgary. What they call that school?
Residential school?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, say that there was a lot of them took up trades there, eh?
Oh yeah.
Like somebody like old Vital and Dolphus and them, they were steam engineers, eh?
Oh yeah.
They got their papers from out there. But I don't know what but Dad was well posted, you know. I mean, actually.
Yeah, and you grew up amongst the Métis community, more or less.
Well, where we were in Spruce Grove, there was a mixture of Scotch, German, and different nationality of people. Eh? So when we went to school, like Dad, when we had that farm in Spruce Grove, well, he gave a piece of land away there, like for the school. Well, he donated it. There was 4 acres of land, and they built the school on that because he didn't want us to go to the convent. Eh?
Oh, I see.
And that's where we went to school, was at Michael's School. It was named after my grandfather. Eh?
Oh, yeah.
But that school doesn't exist there anymore. Apparently the municipality sold it.
Oh, yeah.
But we never got nothing out of it. I mean, say, like, for the land, they up and sold that land on like their own. Mm-hmm. They should have came back to the family, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would think so.
But they didn't. I mean, so they claimed it.
Can you explain how they danced it? Like there's a first part.
Well, they didn't dance the clog. You know, they didn't clog. It was just straight. So check what they call. Mm-hmm. That's the way it was classed, eh? Years ago, like, I mean, say, unless they clogged and wanted, you were disqualified, eh?
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, see, they used to have that in the Old Timers Banquet in the McDonald Hotel years ago, eh? One of my aunts there, she lived till she was 105, but that's where she took lots of her first prizes and stuff. In there, him and her and this Freddie Larondel, Masnas we used to call him, but he was a very good jigger, but he was just a straight, well, I just said, so statesmod, whatever you call that. They didn't clog, otherwise they were disqualified, eh?
Oh, yeah.
That was years ago, but I remember my dad playing for that contest in the McDonald Hotel. Oh, that was years ago. In fact, they had their picture in the paper, eh, in the journal.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, we lost that paper. We kept it for ever so long. But you know, we moved a few times there, and it seemed like most of the time that some of the things that you did, you know, kept, they disappeared. And
mm-hmm. But I imagine you could still get it if you wanted to from the newspaper.
I suppose, eh?
Oh yeah.
That was him and Pat. There was another Callihoo that recorded on a piano with Dad. But it was just more or less like a comedy picture, like, you know, they had Dad with a great big crooked nose on him. And, you know,
yeah.
but it was in the journal. I mean, at the time they had that contest in the McDonald.
Well, tell me about the first part then. The first part is where they're dancing, washing each other, right?
Well, I mean, say, I know that there's only, they dance the first part, the high part, like, you know, when they dance around until they get to that, the jigging part, eh?
Yeah, yeah. But I heard a lot of people saying that, like the only reason they dance around in a circle is to watch each other, so that when one guy made one step, well,
yeah, well, yeah, that's what they actually, the way they done it. Like, I mean, they both danced the identical step.
Yeah, till the guy ran out.
Yeah, till you run out, and then I mean, say, well, I would imagine my aunt there, she'd have danced many steps because she took prizes, eh?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
She was one of the top old-time Red River jigger.
Oh, right on. Yeah. And what about square dancing?
Square dances, well, we used to play most of the time, well, we played the first chains like the slow jig, eh? And the next one, it could be a fast one, or sometimes they have two jigs. And then they play the last one, they play a fast one, eh? A reel like.
Or a breakdown.
Yeah, a breakdown.
Yeah.
That's the way it was played.
What about like the other dances, like the handkerchief dance or?
Well, I don't know so much about them. I mean, they mostly dance just reel of 8, duck dance and stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, and reel of 4.
Reel of 4, yes.
Yeah.
That was danced. I mean, but they danced in 2 couples, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just like Red River Jig, eh?
Yeah, right.
Same thing. But you don't think they danced on this Lord McDonald's reel. That's what they call the reel of 4.
Yeah. Anyway, what about what was the name of that other one? Rabbit dance.
Rabbit dance, no, I had no experience in that whatsoever. I mean, see, I think they danced that more or less. They had made up their lot of these things like in these other reserves, the further north you went. But like us there was just more or less like Métis dances, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
It was reel of 4, reel of 8, and duck dance, and drops of brandy. Circassian circle, I think they did, well, I did play that once for a group that wanted to dance it.
Oh, yeah.
But there was only once that I remember playing it.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
What about, do you still play them?
Well, I haven't played that Circassian circle for years. I don't know, maybe I would make a lot of mistakes in it, you know. But I suppose if I practiced it, I could play it again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And what about waltzes? Like the old pattern dance waltzes?
Yeah, I played the old-time waltzes. I can play the modern one now, too. Thanks to my wife here, she learned me how to go about playing the modern waltzes, like, you know, these slow ones. Mm-hmm. Well, we play a lot of them for these old folks there in these homes, eh? And actually, yeah, I've never played them before, you know, to ever play them for a dance.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I mean, say, well, they're the ones that, it's more or less the timing, eh? Mm-hmm. on a slow waltz.
Yeah.
But I can play quite a few of them now, I mean, say, but I've got a few more to learn.
Yeah. What about Andy DeGratis? What did you think of him?
Well, there was a lot of the tunes. I play a lot of his tunes, eh? Like, I don't know the names of them. You probably know them, you know, ones I play. Well, let's see. And then two-step, I know quite a few of them, like Alec Maureen, and there's another one. There's several ones on two-steps that I know of Andy's.
Yeah. Have you ever met him?
No, I've never met Andy.
Oh yeah.
I've met Al Cherney, but
Oh, yeah.
I've met most like Graham Townsend. I met him.
Oh yeah. What about different fiddlers that influence your fiddling?
Well,
Like years and years ago, even.
well, one time I was working up in Jasper, and of course we got together with a guy that was looking after the pony barns there at the lodge. And he invited us to go to this. Were having a party there, but you know the lodge where they have all this high dudes that come there in the summertime. Well, the couple that used to run that, when they had that party, they used to play for those people because there was waitresses and one thing or another that used to come there to that party, and of course, mind you, there was all kinds of drinking there. They just piled up the beer, and of course. My brother-in-law started saying this to this guy, you know, the guy was playing the violin and then his wife was playing the guitar. He says, my brother-in-law here plays this like Don Messer, you know, and of course, and the guy is feeling pretty damn good. I didn't admit it, would say that, you know. In fact, he just kind of put me on the spot. And this guy, nothing would do, but I would had to play. And I played a few tunes. Well, the son of a gun, he wouldn't let me go then, you know. And every time he met me, he even asked me there to go and sit on their table. And he was with some of these dudes from, I don't know what they were. They were dressed up in, you know, these kind of dresses, you know. I'll tell you, boy, I felt pretty small, I'll tell you. And I was just working, you know, and I was dirty. Then this guy says, it doesn't matter to me, he says. If I like somebody, he says, I don't care how you're dressed or anything, he says. But I still felt I just felt so small I could have sunk. But he told me, he says, anytime you come to Edmonton, he says, I'm in the McDonald Hotel. He told me his name and everything. He says, I want you to come in and see me. And I never did go. I was kind of stupid. I was a kind of an opportunity probably was been knocking and I didn't accept it.
Oh yeah.
Funny how things happen sometimes.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh yeah. Yes, I mean, we used to play for a lot of dances, like, you know, when I first started. That's where, I suppose maybe that's where I got to know a lot of way to play round dances as well. Most of the time, I don't know, the old-time music just come more or less natural to me, eh? But you take my brother, he was 2 years older than I was. He was just the other way around. He was a good round dancer, player, but other than playing reels, and then he couldn't play a reel, you know, the way like it should be played. He always kind of crippled it up. Not that he didn't play them, but he
yeah.
played, you know, but I mean, say, just wasn't his style at all.
He butchered them.
He butchered him.
What about Gilbert? Tell me a little bit about Gilbert Anderson.
Well, Gilbert, I mean, say,
Like you grew up with him, kind of?
not really. No, Gilbert was in a different, well, he's a relative of mine. Like it's Uncle Albert's daughter was his mother, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Selena was his mother, eh?
Yeah.
And that was, well, she'd be my first cousin, but then again, Uncle Albert, that was Dad's stepbrother, eh?
Oh yeah.
What's it called? I mean, the same father, old Michael, was their dad, eh? Like Albert, and my dad, Jimmy. But like I said, there's only the mother's difference, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But they'll still be my first cousin, I mean, no matter which way you look at it.
How is his music different than yours?
His what?
His music.
Well, I mean, everybody's got their own style, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, say, I grow up to be the way I play, I mean, say, and I just more or less like the way my dad used to play, I guess. It just come more or less natural, like.
Yeah, and like he's gotten to be a real hero in fiddle music too. Like he can play it very well, and I'm just glad that the opportunity came to put a tape together like this of all the great fiddlers in Western Canada.
Yeah.
You among them.
Yes, I won quite a few trophies. The first North American trophy I won in was 1984. In 1986, I won another one. I won the North American one. In 1987, I won another North American one. But I had to drop out then, because you can only win it twice in a row.
Oh yeah. So you would have won again.
Well, I probably might have, but I mean, see, but that was a gamble. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you can never say that you're going to win, because it all depends how you come up with your tunes, eh?
Yeah.
Actually, I would have came up with the open class in the North American. But I don't know whether somebody done one of these witchcraft on me or something. But you know something, I mean, say, I played my first two, and the last one, that was the second round, like I was playing against this guy from Mornville. And I wasn't going to play my last tune. You'd think I could play, my hands were just paralyzed. Now, what the heck would cause that?
Oh boy.
I had to walk off the stage. I still come in second spot, but that was one of the worst happenings ever happened to me, was to have my, I'm sure I would have won that.
Well, did that happen to you again then, or?
Well, that was
Since?
the number one there. I was playing for, competing for the top of on the open class. And then when my fingers just went haywire, and they thought I was getting a heart attack. This guy he was more or less the head of the violin there, what the hell he called, I don't know. And anyway, he come there and he started rubbing my arm and everything, but I was feeling fine, other than that.
Oh yeah.
But I always say something, maybe I'm wrong, but why would my hand go like that?
Yeah.
We call it the drops of brandy. Okay?
Yep.